Will the game decoder on 6x6 Mina 3. Will average is about 6 minutes. This is 6:05 Mina 3, so we're gonna be looking for more kind of general level, kind of general tips around here. But also, we're probably gonna do most of the tips while we're going here. Let's get more background. So Will 6:05. Best part of his solve, center into 3x3 stage. Worst part of his solve, edge pairing. How long have you been cubing? Started 5 to 6 years, got back into it a year ago, so probably only been about a year more seriously. 3 to 7 hours a week, so pretty light practice, pretty casual. Nothing too serious, you know, just some 3 to 7 hours. Alright, so we got white center. Centers don't look too bad. These look pretty solid. Not too, what cube is this? This, looks a little interesting. Yeah, there's a pop right there. Oh, first thing, nothing too big has jumped out at me, but, Will, it looks like you're right-handed. So, when you, especially at this speed, when you're right-handed and you're building your centers, just go ahead and put these 2 solid green bars on left. It'll make it a lot easier. Things will just kind of flow a lot easier if you build your centers, and then you move them to your left side, because you're going to be more natural when you're just moving your right hand around. I might want to tighten the cube a little bit. So I'm assuming it's not magnetic, which is a little bit of not as great. Trying to think what I was seeing. Okay. Alright, looks like right there just color scheme took a little bit to figure out. That's not too big of a deal. It's fine. What are these building? This is orange. Well, just in general, I'm not sure this thumb finger trick is really working out for you. Like, you do the U move with your thumb a lot. It seems a little like this. This U move with your thumb is, I'm not really sure. It looks a little uncomfortable for you. Just in general, you're kind of, the way you're holding your cube is a little bit like a 3x3 in the sense that you're kind of holding with both hands and kind of switching. For big cubes, it's going to be a lot more comfortable, and definitely, especially kind of when you're starting out, you're getting more comfortable with the cube. Holding it with your left hand and then doing most of your moves with your right is definitely going to be a lot better. Your turning in general just is really forceful and smooth. Like, the way your cube is performing based on your turning is just like you're kind of overshooting a lot. There's a lot of forceful turning. There's no need to even think about turning fast at all in any way whatsoever. This right now, just kind of smooth. Like, try and be a little more buttery with your turns. Use your right hand more. Hold with your left. Use your right. Do use like this. I really would not recommend this kind of thumb trick, but okay. Oh, well, right here, oh, I'm using the wrong player. That's why I was also opening it wrong. One sec. Did it not open up? Oh, here we go. So right here in this case, Oh, one sec. Also, I want to do. Here we go. So right here, you do kind of a weird U2. I don't know what that. I'll just keep going right now. Let's see, 215. One sec. How long were those centers? Just over 2 minutes for centers. For a 6-minute solve, that's pretty good. The edges are probably going to be what's killer here. Well, are you left-handed or right-handed? I actually can't tell. I'm assuming you're right-handed. Whoa, what was that? Oh, whoa, okay, so yeah, so a couple things. First, you're using this flip alg that, one sec. First, you're using this flip alg that's you're flipping this piece while you're removing, and then you're inserting in the back. And then doing like a U2. I really would recommend just doing the standard flip alg like this. That's just gonna be too confusing. You have to keep track of your back edge as well. I'm pretty confident you're not actually it's not actually providing you anything better. I just really recommend sticking with the normal flip alg right now, doing it with your right hand. This is gonna be a lot simpler down the line. Alright, so we'll put all 4 edges. Oh, whoops, my bad. So we'll put all 4 edges on D layer, which I like, especially if you're averaging out 6 minutes on 6x6. Definitely put all 4 edges on 1 layer. Makes it a lot easier to notice things. Now he's working on the last 4. Okay, so right there, like notice now. Okay, so right here, Will, just look at your hand placement right here. You're holding the cube like this. Yellow's on top, but your hands are now like this to look for pieces. You don't need to do this at all. Just turn it like at the most. Just turn up like this or do a Y, but don't moving your hand grip to look for pieces is a big no. Make sure you keep your hands in the same position at all times. And then also, I'll mention this later. Okay, so Will, is this similar thing? You flip the blue and white edge, or not the complete one. You flip the blue and white wing, but you didn't use the standard alg. Just make sure you switch to the standard alg immediately. Pretty much just this one. Oh, or if you want to be Chris and do the inverse, whatever one works for you. But definitely be doing this way better than anything else. Yeah, it's a little awkward. I'm just seeing it again. Alright, this is good. You know your last two edge cases. Not necessarily... Wow, it's really loud. Not necessarily something that's, like, necessary, but if you already know your last two edge cases, that's good. Interesting to your edge stage. Pro tip: when you're on through edge stage and that piece pops out like that, I wouldn't even fix it. I wouldn't fix it. I just finished the solve without it in. It's only one piece, so it's still legal. That was just the wrong OLL. The big thing I'm noticing is that a lot of, the biggest thing is really look ahead and just kind of stuff that is going to come out naturally. There aren't too many huge mistakes I'm noticing in terms of what's going on with the actual solving, but just the way you're holding the cube is really strange. It's really, I couldn't even tell that you were right-handed based on the solving, which should be like usually pretty obvious. Like you're holding the cube with both hands, you're doing a lot of inserts. Like you're almost like, I almost thought you're left-handed because you're doing more inserts on left than you're doing on right. You're doing a lot of moves with F, just to, like your minimal rotations, but then kind of you're saving rotations with your finger tricks, but then you're doing extra rotations with your kind of looking around. Doing rotation to have a more RU, just doing rotation and doing something RU instead of not doing rotation and using Fs, especially when you're at this stage, is a lot better. It's going to be smoother. It's definitely not something you need to be doing. Just doing a lot of F turns is kind of uncomfortable. You should really kind of master the more natural finger tricks first before you kind of move on to kind of canceling your rotations and stuff with fancier tricks. I really recommend not kind of like doing more rotations. I'd actually like recommend doing more rotations. I do a lot of rotations when I solve. Like Bill Lane does a lot of rotations when he solved. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, in general you want to reduce them if you can, but in your case, like really kind of get better at the more basic stuff first before you kind of move on. But that thumb is for like the kind of weird F prime. It's like the kind of F prime when you're holding it in a weird way. Like you're right-handed, but as you can see right now, your right thumb is holding the cube, and then your left thumb is on the cube. Like, if you can, do most of the stuff with your right hand. It's going to be a lot easier in general. Yeah, I record these and upload them to YouTube afterwards. They're on a playlist on YouTube. You can see them all. Always a good thing to start. I think it's a pretty good. Right here, you're inserting this bar, and you got this centerpiece right here up top. Do a U2 and then do a slice to insert. It'll pull out the centerpiece while you're inserting this bar. I think this is a trick that's good for everyone of all speeds. Because then you have to do an extra, you have to pull it out extra. Like here, you're not doing slices when you don't have to, which is smart. So right here, you're doing yellow, but this white bar is done right here. White bar is done, and actually, like it's like a 4-move 2 bars. Just kind of take a second. It looks like you're trying to go a little too quick. Just take a second. Take a second and look and see what is available to you. This white bar is already done, so I would recommend like you're not saving yourself any time, but it's like immediately picking a bar. Just do what's like already available. Because it was literally 4 moves and white 2 bars were done. But here you're holding orange on front. Wait, are you doing red? Okay, I'm so confused. Never mind. Oh, you're doing red, which is the color scheme's wrong here, but that is a practice sort of thing. But in general, you were holding red on U and then you had yellow, which is already solved on front. Just in general, you want to keep the center you're working on in front or back. If you're looking at one of the centers you've already solved, you're wasting time because you don't need to look at it. You already know it's solved. Also right here, you solve the middle 2 bars first. Always do left to right. You can do the left 2 bars in any order you want, but especially I would never make an exception at this stage. Always do, you can do far left bar or middle left bar, but do your left 2 bars first and then do your 3rd bar and then your 4th bar. Because this is just going to end up with you doing more commutators, which is really not what you like. Now you have commutator on the left and on the right, and that's just really uncomfortable. Also, accidentally did a mistake on the commutators, but not a big deal. In general here, you're going to find at the end of your solve that color scheme is wrong. Check. If you weren't sure during your solve, check at the end of centers. It's very easy to fix when you're done with centers. But yeah. Just stuff like right here, more left-handed usage. It's kind of, okay, don't scratch your face in this. Never scratch your face in the middle of a solve. I know you're probably like not as serious, but just wait a couple minutes. I like this insert. This is good. You inserted the yellow and white or the orange and yellow edge onto the D layer without doing a rotation. I really like that. Very smart. Saves a couple rotations. That's good. It's very helpful when you're forcing yourself to put all the edges on one layer or not. Right here, another like huge cube rotation just to look at just to get some like look ahead. Try and keep your hands in like center position. Left thumb holding the cube and then your right hand to move when you're looking around the cube. It's really not going to help you that much to be it's really not going to help you that much. Oh, so yes, this is a painful. Oof. It's hidden right here. It's hidden because it looks like these 3 green pieces are all solid, but it's hidden because this is a classic edge being hidden. Man, oh god. I do admire the fact that you didn't switch. You stuck to your guns. You did not switch to a different edge. That's good. But yeah, that was rough. In general, though, if you have flipped edge right here, you can do an insert. I guess that's fine. Actually, never mind. Yeah, that doing a flip with your left hand right there is just really awkward. Really, definitely want to move away from that. That's good. Insert on bottom with rotation, which is fine because you're going to have to rotate anyways. I think that insert was fine. It's a lot of more awkward left. Like, you're right-handed, but you're like holding it with your left hand like half the time, which I really don't think is something you want to be doing at this, like, just in general. Oops, my bad, my bad, my bad. Alright, the slice flip slice here, besides using the wrong slice dialog, is pretty fine. Looks like you're just finding pieces and you're doing slice flip slice. It's hard to really tell because there's not that many examples, but just always be on the lookout for when you can solve more than one piece. Like on 6x6 for you, you're probably looking, oh, I can solve this one piece. Try and pick the ones where you can solve 2 pieces at a time, or sometimes even 3, or 2 pieces at a time, really, is what you're looking for. Okay, here I see you don't know all your last 2 edge algs, because you didn't know that one. I would recommend if you're going to learn some of them, learn them all, but in this case, it's not really something that's really that necessary for you to learn right now. But yeah. Will wants to know the ways I do his thumb trick, so the first thing is you're doing, you're kind of doing an awkward thumb. If you want to insert this edge to here with, and flip it, you're doing like, usually I put it here and then do a insert like this. It's actually more moves. I don't know, this is fine. Sebastian does this for 4x4. You're doing like, this thumb here, doing a thumb for like this U prime here is a classic thing because you're holding with your right hand and that means thumb is easier here. But if you're holding with your left hand, immediately, like, you can't do left-handed thumb moves, you're holding with your left hand. The only reason you're doing left-handed thumb moves is because you're holding with right, but really you want to be holding with left. And then it's much more easier to do stuff like this. That's the biggest thumb thing right there. I'll be looking for more, though. Yeah, you're about to find that color scheme's off. Alright, good. This. Oh, whoops. Found color scheme is off. This is good though. You did the R2, RY2, back 2, front 2. That's key. Good there. It's preserved cross. This is just 3x3, so. 1 sec. Let's get to the last layer. What was that? I'm confused. I'm very confused what your method for last layer is right now. Okay, I'd recommend learning all your OLOs and PLOs. Okay, that's good though. You know, also that parity out is like, with those M slices, really tough to execute. I'd recommend learning a different one. Also, yeah, this, I'd recommend learning your OLOs and PLOs. It was good though that for adjacent swap you knew the you setup moves, parity on setup moves. That's good. But definitely learn your OLOs and PLOs. Let's see. All right, so okay, we still have time to watch this whole solve. Usually I try to keep these about half an hour total. So we'll watch this solve in real time. Make any comments as we go. Alright, that was another case that you could have entered that center differently and pulled out the pieces existing. Definitely a good thing to know. Okay, so you set up the T there, which I think is fine. If you were used to doing that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's fine. Another thumb trick. Yeah, Will, I'd really recommend not... Will's saying he knows Ciola. I really wouldn't recommend learning... Like, stuff like that's really not very necessary. I mean, if you want to learn it for fun, then by all means. But if you're just, like, trying to get faster, it's really not... It's, like, just kind of going to confuse you at this level. Really better to know all your OLs and PLLs. Like, master those before you move on. Okay, so this is an easy glue grease center. So... Right here, so it seems like you like this T case. Right here, just to give you a quick help on this T. Did I muted on accident? So you have this T case, and then you have this extra center here. If you do the insert, and then instead of doing an F prime, you do an F, it'll pull this center out at the same time, which will help you save a couple slices. Also, again, you built your centers on right. I definitely recommend putting them on left. It'll make it easier. You're doing a lot of lefty turns right here. And you said you're right-handed. It's really going to make it easier if you do right-handed stuff. So... just in general, I'm noticing there's a lot of cube rotations when you're looking for your edges that aren't necessarily helping you a lot. In general, if you're going to do a cube rotation to find an edge, it's only helpful if the edge the edge you're looking for is in the E layer. Or else you can just do a U move or flip the cube entirely, which is a rotation, but it's a simpler rotation. It really looks like you're left-handed from this video, to be honest. If you're building your edge on left, almost every single edge is being built on left here, and then you're removing with your left hand instead of doing it with your right hand. Okay, so in this case, you did the Y2 to flip enter the edge, which isn't bad, but you were doing it without the Y2 earlier, which I'd recommend. That's a good idea. I've noticed this a couple times. You skipped over edges that were easier. Just in general, you're trying to immediately find something to solve, as opposed to kind of looking around. Especially when your turning isn't the greatest. Pausing and looking to see what's good is gonna help you a ton when it saves you like 5-10 moves, because you straight up you found pieces that were already solved rather than ones that weren't. Oh, you're. Wait, what was that? Okay, so right here, there was a slice up slice. You did a slice up slice to solve. Essentially, you had this where you wanted to slice up slice to solve green and orange, and then you did slice flip slice to solve the inner one, and then you did slice up slice to solve the outer one. When in reality, you just want to do an inner slice. This should just be something that's in your repertoire when you're doing slice up slice. You don't have to do pure this or this. You can also do inner slices and slice up slice like that. So that's key. Good thing I know there. Very interesting that you know that case. Alright, well, you theoretically know it. Very interesting which cases you know for last part it is. I'd recommend if you're gonna learn them, know them all, I'd say. So, it's just kind of an interesting note that you knew that case, but the case you had in the previous solve was like one of the easiest last two edge cases that was parity, but you didn't know that one. Anyways, so that's called parity. Alright, so that's like pretty much the whole thing, which is like the last layer. The only thing specific for big cubes is just last layer. There's a better F2L out for that, by the way. 2-look OLL. Do the right-handed fish. I really recommend that. Do it from the back. Man, you are really lefty. Very lefty. A lot of lefty stuff I've seen. Yeah, and also this peel-up parity alg is just like really hard to execute on any 6x6, so. Alright. So yeah, pretty much just big general takeaways is the finger tricks are very interesting in that solve. Just kind of the biggest thing I noticed. Just this holding with the left hand versus holding with the right hand. Like if you want to do it lefty, that's fine, which is like almost seems like you are lefty, but really commit either way. There's no reason to be trying to be ambidextrous really at this point. Definitely hold with your left and then turn with your right, or hold with your right, turn with your left. Another big thing, centers. Pulling out existing pieces when you're moving in bars. Looking for solved, like taking a pause and then looking for something that's already solved when you're moving on to your next center. Other than that, most of the problems with center is just kind of look ahead, comfortability, not knowing what color scheme you're doing, stuff like that. Edges is killer, just look ahead. Also, the left-handedness is a big thing. The big thing is just look ahead. There's a lot of points where it's kind of just really killing you. I like the stuff that you're doing where you're putting edges all on the bottom. You have a good way of not doing the Y2 rotations to kind of cancel that out. I like that stuff. That's definitely good for what you're doing right now. But yeah, look ahead is the real killer. And then last two edges, I like the slice up slice. But just be aware that you can do inner slice up slice, like I have right here is inner slice, flip slice. That's always an option. And then through I3, or last two edges, either know all your algs. The ones you know are kind of strange. Know, like the ones you should know are the ones, like if you know one of the ones like this, then you can use the 4-move flip algorithm to set up the other ones very quickly into this, because they're all essentially the same, or you can know them all. And then knowing one of those where it's like checkerboarded and one of them where they're both not checkerboarded, because you can set this one up into this case also, or this case. They're pretty much all the same. As long as you know this case, you're one flip away. But yeah, that's pretty much the big things there. So, yeah.